Hello and welcome to Knife Delights and another edition of 2 for Tuesday. In this video here today, we're going to take a look at, well, something a little different. Here we have two bayonets, one from the World War I era and the other from World War II era. The first one, the large one down here, this is a Springfield M1905. And up here we have a Kiffe. It's kind of a reproduction, probably post-World War II, M4 fighting knife or bayonet knife. Let's start by taking a look here at the Springfield Armory 1905. And we can see on here, we've got Springfield Armory 1918, and 1918 was the year of this manufacture. Of course, it's got the exploding ordnance logo there. And we turn it around on the back, and we can see it says US, and then there's a serial number on it. Now, these bayonets here were originally 16 inches long, and they were designed for the M1903 Springfield rifle, which was used during World War I. In 1943, they were reduced in size to 10 inches. And they were used on the M1 Garand. So this particular model that I have right here is one that was originally 16 inches long, but then they chopped it down to 10 inches. The original grips on the knife were walnut, but then they changed the grips to phenol formaldehyde. And approximately 1 million of these longer bayonets were chopped down to the 10-inch size. Now, one reason I can tell that this is one of the original 16 inches is because of this big, wide fuller. When they started manufacturing just the 10-inch 1905s, it had a much narrower fuller in it. So that, and plus the date stamp on here, lets me know that this was an original that got chopped down. It is broke right there, but other than that, it's in pretty good shape all around. Here's the scabbard for it, and the scabbard does lock in place. You can see little catches here, and the scabbard's in pretty good shape too. So yep, it snaps into place, and you can just push it down there, and a little button there, and pull it out. So that is our M1905. Now, it is said that the forces fighting in the Pacific during World War II, they preferred the 16-inch original bayonet because the Japanese were using a longer bayonet. However, the forces fighting in Europe, they preferred the 10-inch size because the Germans were using a shorter bayonet. And, you know, it's less heavy, less bulky, saves a little bit of weight on their belt, too. I just think that this is a pretty interesting bayonet. Now up here, I'm not sure, but I believe this one here is just a replica. And this is the M4 bayonet. And it was originally an M3 that evolved to the M4. And then there was a couple other iterations to it. By the time the M4 came out, it saw little or no use as a bayonet in World War II. But it doesn't mean it wasn't used during, in the combat zones. Once production of the M3 knife ceased, the M4 became the substitute and was issued in place of the M3. It was extensively issued and carried as a general-purpose belt knife. Final sharpening of the blade after the parkerizing was done. This resulted in a bright line of white that could be seen if the blade is in still good condition. Later use, sharpening, rust, patina, etc. will often obscure this line. So, as you can see, if it gets sharpened, it does have a line of white on it. I've touched it up just a little bit. It's fairly sharp. Of course, this is a false edge up here. Now, this was made by Kiffe, and Kiffe was like an outdoor or manufacturer of outdoor camping equipment. This could have been made in the 1960s just as a replica, novelty. It's my understanding that in the leather here, some of them had 5 grooves and some had 6 grooves in it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one has 5. It is missing the spacer here, as you can see. And the sheath for that is this one here. And it's designated the M8A1. Now, there is no marking on the tang stamps. However, here on the guard, you can see where it says Kiffe. Kiffe, Japan. So, just another little interesting piece of history here. We'll go back up here for just a moment to the M1905 bayonet. Just a little fact here that sometimes the cut down versions are referred to as the M1942, but that designation was not used by the U.S. Army. So the 1942 designation is kind of something that collectors and historians came up with. Now, the Kiffe company was founded in 1875 by Herman Kiffe, and it was a New York City manufacturer and retailer of sporting goods, especially baseball equipment. The company was renamed several times over during their 100-year existence. Examples include Herman H. Kiffe Sporting Goods, 1875, H. Kiffe Company, 1900, Luck Kiffe Company, 1930s to the 1950s, and Kiffe Sales Company, 1960s. Over the years, Kiffe sold all manner of camping, hunting, and fishing gear, and military surplus as well. Both the M4 and M5 bayonets have been observed with the Kiffe private label. Initially, the new-made bayonets were paired up with military surplus M8A1 scabbards and sold for $2.50. Later, the bayonets were sold with commercial copies of the M8A1 scabbard, with some having leather belt hangers. So this one is not leather. That's the cloth. Take a closer look here at the scabbard. So I'm wondering if this wasn't an original scabbard, and they just made the repro knife to put into it. You can see here it has a tie strap, so you can tie it down to your belt or around your leg. Yeah. Pretty neat. Well, I certainly hope you've enjoyed this video. It's a little bit shorter than normal. I gotta tell you, I don't know. I caught a bad fever here a couple days ago. Not feeling the best, so kind of just powering through this video. Again, I hope you've enjoyed it, and everyone have a very delightful day.